You know what I mean? As a sophomore and a junior, just all around play. And so that story I told you about Kobe checking to see if Arthur Davis and Ronnie Conway was still at Roman. That was, I never forget this. That was so my sophomore year, we won it my freshman year with Mark Jackson, Mike Tabb, Dwayne Hill. We won it my sophomore year. Tamir Harbin, Larry Kettner, Will McKnight, Chris McNesby, R.C. Kehoe. We had so many good players. And then my junior year was, I always say this, that was the most talented team I ever played on, ever.
Who was on that team?
So it was Larry Kettner, second round NBA draft pick. Rasul Butler was on the team. He didn't play, but he was on the team. He was pretty much doing what I did my freshman year, but he was on the team. Davis, Tamir Harbin, myself, R.C. Kehoe, Chris McNesby. We had, including the guys that were the headliners, which was 5 Division I, high major Division I players and young guys. We had every bit of 8 Division I players, and we were #1 team in the country, that year for a couple days. But that was the only team I didn't win a championship with at Roman. So, we went to the championship all 4 of my years, but my junior year we lost. So the team broke up, and I never forget, we had a practice early that year, my senior year. And mind you, like I said, I didn't play varsity my first year. Second year averaged 13. My third year averaged 14. Coach Sutton said, he pulled me to the side. No, matter of fact, we were in the circle right before practice. And it was probably our second practice of the year. And he was like, he was just giving us, his overview of the team, this, that. And he said, Donnie, you realize that if you don't average 25 a game or more, we have no shot at winning the championship this year. And I think everybody in the circle was taken back because that was unheard of at Roman. Nobody averaged 25 a game in those years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With all those players, nobody averaged 25 a game. And I'm looking he said, yeah. He said, we're not interested in just, being good. We want to win a championship. We coming off, a loss in the Catholic League Championship last year. And for this team right here that I'm standing in front of right now to win a Catholic League Championship, you have to average 25 or more. So that was really and I said this, on another interview I had. Coaches, I think great coaches, create monsters. They unleash the beast, so to speak, because they can see the full potential and they know how to get it out of you. Okay. Now, before that, I was not a big scorer. I was an all-around player, guy, rebound, pass. That year, I think I averaged, I end up averaging 25 a game, but for the most of that year, I averaged 28, which was one of the highest single-season averages in Catholic League history at the time. And definitely at Roman, and it's still up in the record books. But that was what it was all about. It was all about winning. It wasn't about, getting stats. It was just all about winning.
So let's go there. Let's stop right there before we go to your freshman year on Saan. Let's
Okay.
go to that senior year.
Okay.
I got this picture in my head. Abdul Teller, Malik Moore, Peter Sanders,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Arthur Davis,
Yeah.
and Donnie Carr.
Yeah.
Not just South Philly, but Philadelphia top 5. Take me to that picture, and you being the ultimate competitor against those guys. How did you see yourself against those guys, and who were you to those guys?
You know what? They were all guys that I had the utmost respect for.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Ab is not with us, today. But Abdul Teller was a special talent, man. I tell people all the time, if Ab, was at a different school with, more structure,
Way more structure.
would just put him in my position.
Okay.
He was just as good. I mean, I just feel like, we didn't have similar games. Like Ad was more like Kevin Johnson or like because what I always did was compare, like get comparisons at the highest level. Okay. Like I always looked at myself as like a Joe Dumars, Gary Payton type of player. Okay. They were the guys that I patterned my game at. Okay. But Ad was like an IT. Like he was super fast. He wasn't a traditional point guard. Scoring machine. He had all the shots. You know what I mean? You couldn't back up off him. You couldn't step up on him. He can hit the floater. He had all the layups. He was unbelievable.
As a low-budget Kyrie Irving.
I like that.
When he get to that bucket, it was either hand.
Yep.
And when he saw you in front of him, it was one-on-one.
Yep.
Going past you, pockets pull up.
That's even better comparison. I say Isaiah Thomas, IT, that plays for,
For Cleveland right now.
Yeah, but I like that.
Just without the fancy hand.
I like that.
Kyrie without the fancy.
I like that. I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
I like that.
Yeah, because when he got to the hole, it was either hand.
Yep.
And it didn't matter the height.
Yeah, all the shots.
All the shots. I mean, one of the best 15 to 16 footers.
Yep.
It wasn't about the three.
Yep.
I was deadly from 15 to 16.
Yep.
And when
But you had to concede that.
Exactly.
You wasn't going. You couldn't stay in front of Ad.
You couldn't stay.
You know what I mean?
Either hand, just as fast.
Yeah, Ad was the truth, man.
Right.
Ad was the truth. I always said that he was a bona fide Division I player.
Right.
I think Ad could have played at a very high level.
Right.
And I just feel like, again, it was just, time and place. You know what I mean? If he was in the right system with the right coaching and structure as far as academics and, so forth and so forth, Ad was just as good as any of us. You know what I mean? If not better.
Right.
You know what I mean? But all those guys, like my toughest competitor and my advantage was being able to, play one-on-one against Yah Davis every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I never forget going back to Barrett. I met Yah in Barrett.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That St. Charles team. We had our St. Charles team playing in, I think it was like the 12-14 age bracket in Barrett.
Okay.
And I never forget coming over there, and they was like, yo, man, it's this boy from, Penrose. He coming up there dropping 40, 45. They saying he the toughest young boy around. Can't nobody mess with him, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, who is he? You know what I mean? Where he at? You know what I'm saying? So they're like, all right, you sure you want him? I said, man, where he at? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Long story short, they promoted it. Me and Yah played one-on-one, and I beat him. But at the end of the day, I was a little stronger, and Yah was just, he was an unbelievable talent, man. Unbelievable. But at the end of the day, we played one-on-one. I won that game. We became best of friends. And, again, you talk about competition. Yah was a fierce competitor, hated to lose. So, like you got to understand, we were like best of friends. And if I beat him, he was ready to fight. If he beat me, I was ready to fight.
Right.
And, we played against each other every day. Exactly. And it was like, that was the best probably development for my game, to have a guy that, I don't think I had the talent level as Yah. Yeah. See, people misconstrue that all the time. Just because you have the most talent, that don't make you the best basketball player. You know what I mean? For example, Larry Bird, he wasn't the highest jumper or fastest runner, but how many guys can play the game of basketball better than him? Or you can take a guy like John Stockton. He wasn't the quickest. He didn't have the flashiest handle, but how many guys was a better point guard than John Stockton? You know what I mean? They say the great players, they don't look to make great plays all the time. They just do the ordinary things great all the time. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, a lot of people would say, Donnie, you was a better basketball player than Yah. I leave that up to them. When it comes to, who was better, Ya Donnie or Rab or Donnie. I don't comment because they best of friends. Like I look up to Rab. Ya my best friend. You know what I mean? I let those people say that. But a lot of people say like Donnie, you was a better player. Y'all had more talent, but you was a better player. You know what I mean? So again, but just to have a guy like Ya or a guy that was younger than us, Sue, because Sue was in that mix too. We would all play each other all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was like, and then before that, you know, she was like the most talented one when I was real young. You know what I mean? She used to, Rashid Noodles Bay.
Okay, here we go.
He used to beat me all the time.
Okay.
So she used to beat me all the time. Yeah. Before I even started going over, I told you I used to go around the corner to choose Smith.
Uh-huh.
And she, you know, we family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like he used to be over there because it's, you know, Ski Bop and Troy.
Right.
You know, they the family on his dad's side, so they live right around the corner. So he'd come over, play sheet all the time. She used to kill me,
Right.
like embarrass me, like he used to do things to me, man. That, you know, I'm embarrassed to say that type of stuff.
Right.
Like beat me 22-2. You know what I'm saying? 22-4.
Wow.
You know what I mean? All the time.
All the time.
So like for me, that stung. But I used to, like you said, come on, play me again, play me again, play me again.
Yeah.
So it was this one time. This probably was like a year later. I was working on my game all year, and she was like arrogant because he knew he could beat me. He was older,
Right.
stronger, quicker. So he didn't know I was over there all the time.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Uh-huh.
Working on my game. One day I caught him out there. He's like, all right, play one more. He's like, yeah, you can have first. I ran off probably like 10 straight baskets on him before he even knew what hit him. So I beat him like 22-6, and I ain't playing him again. I said, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Right,
I know I got better. But nah, that was just like, you know, she, Ya, Sue, you know, Sammy, you know, that was our crew. Jermaine Barlow, Eric Wright, you know what I mean, Ab Taylor, you know, all those guys. But, you know, for me, like I said, getting back to that picture, man, it was just an honor just to reflect and see, you know, how far my game had came from when I first started to that city picture, you know, with first team all city, and they chose me as player of the year. But that was a tremendous honor, and I was just like, wow, man, I'm with the best of the best right now, you know.
Smile. I'll never forget the picture.
Yeah, that was a talented group of guys, man.
Ed, never forget it. True story. Ed Dude said, I said, Ed, every time I look at that picture, why you had the mean face? I didn't know I was going to be in the picture.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to get a haircut.
Right.
I said, wow, Ed. He said,
Ad, think about that. Ad made first team all city from Orton Reed. From Orton Reed.
Led the pub in scoring his junior.
A lot.
And his
Listen,
senior.
guys lead the public. He made first team all city,
All city.
playing for Orton Reed. So that should tell you something, man.
How talented he was.
Yeah. But going to my freshman year at LaSalle, I had heard so many stories about, man, you doing this in college. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, you doing this in high school. I don't know if you can do that in college. You know, so that was my motivation. Like, you know, like, look, man, guys are bigger, stronger. The coaching is better. You know, they get to critique your game. So you never know what to expect. And it wasn't a plan. Like, I didn't go to LaSalle, even though I could have went to the ACC, the Big East, you know, the SEC, the Big Ten. I was getting recruited by all those schools. I didn't go to LaSalle saying I'm going to lead the country in scoring. I just happened to play for a legend who, by the way, I want to, you know, congratulate Coach Marsh publicly for reaching a unbelievable milestone and getting 1,000 wins, Hall of Fame coach, and every bit of deserve. It couldn't happen to a better person, a better man, a guy that changed so many kids' lives, and just, you know, a Philadelphia legend and a guy that, you know, we all lucky to have played for and know. You know, unbelievable family, the Morrises, still friends of mine to this day, and, you know, another experience that changed my life. But Coach was just, you know, unbelievable to me. Coach Lionel, another guy that, you know, was who inspired me to want to go to LaSalle, who wanted to be the next, South Philly great, Philadelphia great, Lionel Simmons. And when I got there, his confidence in me and the things that he, was able to show me and teach me, and the offensive plays that he had a plethora. I don't even know if I said that word right, but
It was close, but
yeah, you know what I mean. He had a array of, like, he can go back from the 70s until now, and he don't forget no games, no scores, no plays. So when teams would try to say, all right, well, we know Donnie gonna do this, he always had a counter.
okay.
And just playing for him, like, it was a special match, and that really helped me get my confidence and be able to perform at the level I did as a freshman. But it wasn't planned. I was shocked myself that I was leading the country in scoring. And Sean Red Smith played a big part in that as well.
Yeah. We got a question from Instagram Live.
Yep.
Wayne want to know. He wanted to ask how hot sauce. How you feel about hot sauce? How he used to say he used to work y'all out over shoes.
Yeah, I mean, Mel Hawkins, another Roman legend, St. Charles guy. Again, playing with guys like that, being able to get mentored by guys like that was very instrumental in my path and my success. I mean, those guys back then, that's what it was about, man. I think that's one of the things that's missing, like that these younger guys don't get a chance to experience that we did.
Right.
Like coming over the schoolyard, and you were lucky if you got on the court. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you had that competitive nature, if you listened, the old heads would give you the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And take a liking to you. And for guys like that, to be a part of my life and, kind of teach me certain things and show me, no, this is what it's about, young boy. This is how you do this. This is what you should look for. This is how you work on your game.
Right.
That was priceless.
Mm-hmm.
That was priceless.
So when you drive through the city and you see empty basketball courts, and they all brand new now.
Yeah.
You see them empty, and you know what you came up on. What goes through your mind?
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It hurts me to my heart, because at the end of the day, I mean, for us, that was things that we spent doing, like, all day.
Okay.
Like, if the runs wasn't over Chews,
Uh-huh.
they was over 15th Street. They wasn't over 15th Street, they was over the Anderson. They wasn't over the Anderson, they was over Smith.
Right.
We wreck chased all day. That's all we did. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, look, we taking our 5. You know what I mean? We taking 5. Me, Robbie, Sue, Sammy.
Now, when you say Robbie who?
Robbie Sedan.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Robbie was the truth back in the day, man. Robbie was the truth.
6'5", do it all.
Yeah.
I said
Jump shot,
Jump
go
shot,
glass on you.
Win the point.
Yeah, all that.
He led the public scoring too.
Yeah.
When
Brother-in-law.
you talk about this 5 you ran with, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Y'all not losing no games. So how does it feel to be with players that's just murdering basketball all over the city, and they're your closest friends?
You know what? That was special, man. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. I wouldn't trade my childhood experiences or my friends for nothing in the world, man. Mm-hmm. What we did, the things we accomplished, we always pushed each other. You know what I mean, to be better. You know what I mean. If we weren't competing against each other, we was teaming up to go compete against others. You know what I mean?
Everybody was
and we had legendary wars over the YMCA with the Myers.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? A basketball family who, I mean, at the time we hated them and they hated us.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? That made all of us better.
Okay.
And the mutual respect that was formed between us and them, because it never, it was heated battles. I mean, where we was ready to fight, but we never fought. You know what I mean? But we talk like, yo, this, that, third, whatever. It never led to that level. It was all basketball. Because at the end of the day, that's what we were. We were basketball players. But you talking about ultimate competitors, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay, Lou, Cheese, Carr. Yeah. All those guys, man. Unbelievable, legendary battles, man. And that's what we all knew, that competition brought out the best of us. Best in all of us, and that's what we chased, man. That was our livelihood. We wanted to go where the best ball players were and say, look, we coming to let y'all know that we the best, and if y'all the best, y'all got to show us why y'all the best. And that's what we did all day, every day, man.
Right. So let me talk to, not the freshman at LaSalle, I'm talking to the assistant coach at LaSalle.
Okay.
Carr.
Okay.
The game of basketball is changing in a way where a lot of guys feel entitled.
Right.
A lot of young guys are feeling entitled. We just heard, not only in part 1, but part 2, stories of how you started from your youth.
Right.
In the 5th grade, all the way up to college.
Right.
That you competed.
Yeah.
And the key thing a lot of young guys are not hearing, when you couldn't beat a guy, you went out and practiced on your own. A coach didn't have to call you on the phone and say, hey, you got practice at 8. At 7:30, I'm going to be in front of your house at 7:45. So
Right.
you did it on your own.
Yep.
A lot of these guys say, well, I got a talent, I dunk the ball, I'm going to be on the team. I got handles, I got all the handles, I'm already on the team. You said, 9th grade year, you scored 4 points in the championship. It was the world to you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Honestly, I was nervous. Like,
Right.
I was scared to death.
But it wasn't.
When he called my name, when Coach
Yeah.
said, we played North Catholic, who they were like before their time. They had small guys. We had Mark Jackson, 6'10", Mike Tabb, 6'9", and we had a small forward, Dennis Bond. He was like 6'4", 6'5". We had a big team. They had all small guys, and they said our only advantage is to run. And they had an unbelievable game plan. So they came out running up and down. Mark was tired. Like, we couldn't keep up. And Coach being coach, he was like, all right, well, we got to try something. Donnie, get out there. I'm like,
Wow.
just like that.
Wow.
But, yeah, that was, man, I was like, I had to go. He said, look, play hard. You know how to play. You practice with us all year. You know how we do things. Just go ahead and do your best. And I had 4. And I contribute to the win. We won that game in double overtime. So
So a lot of these guys, young guys, feel entitled to success early.
yeah,
It's about, I'm going to get these attributes and everything early and putting the work in. What can you, Coach Donnie, not the player Donnie, I want to hear from Coach Donnie, what do these guys need to do to become successful at the next level? I'm talking about from junior high school to high school, from high school to college.
what they need to do, what they should do. First of all, I think that it comes from your background and your upbringing.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm just speaking of a lot of inner city kids.
That's right.
They don't come from 2-parent households, so it's more about the people around them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the information, because they're kids, they don't know no better. They're young, wet behind the ears. They're looking for direction, and so if they give someone their trust, and that's the guy or person that's mentoring them, that's in their life, that they respect, they're listening to. So I just think that it starts there.
Right.
With the people around you. You got to surround yourself with the right people.
Right.
And that's where it starts. Like, for me, I just think that the best advice I can give them is, it's supposed to be hard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's supposed to be hard. Like, people want to give these kids everything and tell them how great they are. I was fortunate enough to be around, my older brother, my uncles, my mentors, and they used to always tell me, look, man, you ain't done nothing yet.
Right.
If you want to get anywhere, you got to work for it.
Right.
You got to work for it. And if it get hard, you just got to tuck your chin, strap your sneakers up, and be ready for the long haul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I think that the approach and the mindset is huge because, you know, first of all, let me just say this. Kids have more opportunity than ever.
Right.
And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Like people always say they want to compare eras, you know, basketball. I'm so happy with the opportunity that these kids have today. It's unbelievable.
Right.
The places they go to, the way they travel, the gear, the resources, the internet with YouTube, anything they want to know. So if they favorite player, if they want to Google their favorite player or get a video or, you know, have something to practice, they have access to all of that.
Right.
You know, and that's unbelievable, and that's a great thing.
Right.
But with that being said, if they looking for a fast track and looking for something easy, then, you know, that's not how it's going to happen. Like, you have to, it's about dedication.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got to dedicate yourself,
right.
You know, and nothing of any significance is going to happen without dedication and sacrifice. So, like, these kids got to be willing, and they got to allow themselves to be coached. You know what I mean? Wow. Like that like it's all about, you know, what are you willing to do to obtain the goals you have for yourself? Right. You know, set goals for yourself. And understand it's not going to be easy to reach these goals. Exactly. Allow yourself to be coached. Allow yourself to accept constructive criticism. Okay. You know, don't think that if somebody's telling you that you're not the greatest thing since sliced bread, that they're against you.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Don't think that if you're in a situation where you're surrounded with, you know, other good players or people that might be ahead of you.
Right.
At that time, that you can't work and compete and be able to surpass them one day. Yeah. So, like, the things we look for, like when we go to recruit, the number one thing we're going to look for is academics. Wow. Like, that's the number one thing. Like, we can love a kid, say, oh, man, he's talented. But the first thing we're going to ask for is his transcripts. Yeah. What kind of grades do we have? Right. All right. Does he have the required courses? Did he pass the SAT yet? So that's the number one thing is academics. Right. The second thing is character. Wow. We want to know the kid's character. Wow. He can be an unbelievable talent, but does he fit our culture? Can he be coached? Has he ever been coached? Now, maybe he hasn't been coached. That's not necessary. But is he coachable? Yeah. Is he coachable? Yeah. So we talking academics, we talking character, we talking coachability, work ethic, like you said. Is he the type of kid that you got to drag to the gym? Yeah. Like, is he the kid that when I walk up to the gym to see you in the gym, and I hear that ball bounce, oh, I know that's so-and-so. Because he dedicated. Yeah. He's self-motivated. Yeah. We don't need to call, like, yo, have you been in the gym at all this week? Right. You know, or we're in a team meeting, we want to know, like, who made a certain amount of shots. We got a shot chart, you know. How many shots did you make this week? Yeah. Oh, coach, to be honest, I ain't been in the gym yet, you know. So, like, you know, it's those type of things, you know, academics, character, coachability, work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so those are the things that coaches look for. You know, and then the other thing is who's around this kid? Okay. Who's in his circle? Right. You know, his parents or his mentors. You know, are they going to allow us to coach their son? Okay. Because at the end of the day, these kids got to understand, like I said at Roman, we had guys going to the highest level of basketball averaging 12 points. At Saan Gratz, Rasheed Wallace, he averaged 13 points a game. He was the number one player in the country. They won a national championship. Terrell Stokes went to Maryland from Gratz. He didn't average a gazillion points, but he was a winner. He was coachable. You know, he can fit into that culture. You know, he's a championship level player. So, like, at the end of the day, kids think, oh, I got to be around these people that's going to tell me how great I am. Everything's going to be easy for me. I ain't going to have to work for nothing. Right. If I get coached hard, they against me, so let me go over here. That's not what it's about. Right. You know what I mean? That's not what it's about.
Right.
It's about dedication. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people. It's about your academics. It's about, being self-motivated. All of those things. You know what I mean? And that's what college coaches are looking for. And they're looking for winners at the end of the day. A winning attitude, a winning personality. Either you're an energy giver or you're an energy taker.
Wow. So, you got something for us, Tariq?
Yeah, well, one last question. When you entered the coaching realm, what kind of goals did you set for yourself? Did you surpass those goals so far, or are you still trying to reach those goals?
When I stepped into coaching, it honestly, a great friend of mine's, a guy that's, even though he's a year older than me, he's like a mentor, Chris McNesby, the ex-head coach at Roman, who was my teammate, graduated in '95. He really started me off coaching. I was at a crossroad of my life. When I was, playing professionally overseas, I had some injuries, some setbacks. My heart was still telling me to play. My body wouldn't let me play. I was really in a gray area transition in my life. And I had missed a couple years of playing. And Chris said, well, come down with the guys and see how you like it. So I didn't like it. I loved it because I saw me.
Okay.
And all of those young kids, freshmen at Roman,
Right.
Like a fish out of water, still trying to figure it out, still looking for direction, and guys that I can relate to, kids that I had so much to give, and it was just like, wow, like it was the next best thing to playing. So like my goal, because every great player or good player don't make a great coach.
Right.
And I had this discussion with other guys. Some of the best coaches never played before. Some of the best coaches were role players,
Right.
like a Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson wasn't a star.
Right.
He was a role player.
Right.
But you know what? He understood the importance of team
Okay.
and how important role players are.
Right.
See, some guys can just help you in practice. Some guys will never get on the court, but if they come in to practice and compete every day, they help the starters perform in games. Some guys push and crack the starting lineup. So you need every guy. It takes everybody on the team to win a game, but it only takes one guy to lose a game. So at the end of the day, I came in to the coaching profession understanding that it was a new profession, that I had a lot to learn. I wanted to be a sponge and really just, come in all eyes and ears, listening to everything and trying to soak everything up.
Okay.
And so I accomplished that because I feel like, the guys that come into the games thinking that, I was an ex-good player, so that means I know this and that don't mean anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like, I'm constantly learning and getting a chance to join Coach G's staff and be around Horace Pappy Owens, McDonald's All-American, second-round draft pick. Back in the 70s, Horace played in the first or second McDonald's All-American game out of Dobbins, who's been in the profession for 20 years. And getting a chance to work with a guy like that who was a great player back in the 70s. Getting a chance to work with a guy in Coach G who just reached a milestone that only few coaches do or did. He just got his 500th victory, and congrats to Coach G. And that that he's been around a long time. And I think him and the coach from Davidson, who we play next, Bob McKillop, is the only two active coaches in the Atlantic 10 right now with 500 wins or more. And Coach G is in his 30th year in a row of being a head coach. So, being around a guy who's been a head coach for 30 years in a row, I'm being able to learn from a guy like him every day. Being able to learn from Horace Owens and Sean Neal, who's an ex-LaSalle player. All of these things are priceless. And obviously, I got, more goals. Like, I got long-term and short-term goals. And, no, I haven't accomplished all of my goals. My first goal is to be a part of an NCAA tournament team back at LaSalle, my alma mater. Something that I didn't do, which I grew up watching training, L Train and Randy Woods and Doug Overton and Bobby Johnson, Jack Hurd, Tim Legler. All these guys do. That's what drew me to LaSalle. So I wasn't able to do that as a player because, for one, we switched conferences, and at that time, the Atlantic 10, that was my freshman year, was LaSalle's second year in the Atlantic 10. And I don't know if we were ready to compete at that level at the time. With Xavier in the league and 6 NCAA tournament teams, we were competitive, but we weren't, a tournament caliber team. So I fell short of that goal as a player. That's a goal that, I live every day, trying to be a part of, the next NCAA tournament team at LaSalle, But no, some of my goals, to answer your question, I have reached. Some of my goals I'm still, working towards every day.
So do you see yourself as an NBA assistant coach and a head coach someday?
You know what? I'm going to work endless. That word dedication is something that I believe in. Yeah. Being a team player.
Yeah.
And just, being committed to excellence. You know what I mean? And just striving, every day to be the best I can be. And that's by, even with all the, experiences I have as a coach, I learn from the players. Okay. Every situation is different. Every individual is different. So I'm a guy that's always seeking knowledge, always trying to learn and work at my craft. Right. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to put any limitations on myself. Right. And I'm going to go to wherever, the journey takes me. And I relish it, and I'm blessed. Like they say in our profession, we live in a dream, man. Yeah. Being able to coach, Division I basketball and be around kids and impacting and changing lives is truly a blessing and one that I'm very thankful to be a part of, and I'm just blessed and thankful, man. So
we about to wrap this up. Just leave them with one word and one phrase from you, Donnie.
Think big.
Think big?
Think big, man. And, again, chase your dreams. Think big. Don't put no limitations on yourself.